going to be doing an Eldoa workout.
How's it going? I'm Anthony with Eldoa RX, and we've started Eldoa classes here at Elevation before everything went a little squirrely. So we wanted to bring you just a short introduction to Eldoa to do on your own at home. What Eldoa is, real quick to explain, is a method of exercise where we use specific postures to increase space and improve the function of the spine. Today we're going to specifically focus on the lumbar spine or the lower back. Some working principles on your own at home. We want to make sure we're completely barefoot, so no shoes and no socks. And some other working principles we'll get into when we do the Eldoa, but to start, the most important is to work within your own limitations. The main limitation we're talking about is pain. Okay, we never want to put ourselves in pain or a position of too much discomfort. That being said, we want to make sure we can work with pain. So when we do some of the exercises, some of the Eldoa postures, if at any point we feel pain, we don't necessarily have to stop. We just have to back off the intensity or back off the range of motion a little bit. And I'll explain that more as we get into the exercise. So to start, we're going to take a stance with our feet right under our hips. And we're going to set our gravity line. So what we're going to do here is just working on tucking our pelvis. Okay, so if you view your pelvis as a bowl of water over the sink, you can either pour it backward or forward. We have a posterior or anterior tilt, moving the hips forward and backward, and just to see if we can create some motion through that pelvic girdle. Now we're going to hold that posterior tilt or the tuck of the tail. We keep the rib cage down. We keep the shoulders back just a little bit. The chin is in and the head is up. We're trying to be as tall as we can. And just take some deep breaths. As we breathe in, think of the body getting taller. As we breathe out, think of maintaining that height. Now from here, we want to try to look effortless, like we're not trying to do anything in this posture. And we're going to close our eyes. And we're going to notice how our body shifts and sways and makes its little micro adjustments with our eyes closed. And maintaining this posture with the eyes closed will now lift the toes off of the floor. And once again, when you lift those toes, you'll really feel your body make some adjustments to center itself. All right, so this is our gravity line. In this posture, our body's best apt to fight gravity. All right, now from here, we want to keep the eyes closed, maintain our posture, and without letting the body move at all, forwards or backwards, quickly lower the toes back to the floor. Go ahead and open your eyes. We want to remember how that feels. We're going to retest that again at the end of the class. All right, so from here, we're just going to go through a little warm-up. We basically just start to pedal through our feet. Right, so staying tall, just rolling through the ankles, keeping that tail tucked, keeping the chest down, chin in, and the head up. Right, we're always trying to maintain our gravity line and maintain our place. We want to make sure we're having a low impact warm up, so that's why we're not doing a lot of jumping jacks or burpees. Now from here, we can start to incorporate the upper body a little bit more, so we can take the arms and bring them up and down overhead, keeping the elbows just above the shoulders. Good. And while we're moving through this, again, we want to make sure we maintain that gravity line. So the tail's still tucked, the shoulders are down, the chin is in, the head is up, and we're just moving at a controlled pace. Good. Really go all the way onto those toes. Try to roll through the entire foot. Right, so it's a little bit less of a calf raise and more of a rolling motion as if we were marching. Good. Go ahead and bring the arms down and relax. So from there, we're going to continue with a joint-by-joint approach. We're going to work on the ankles by simply rolling the ankles out, rolling the ankles in. Trying to create as much range of motion as we can, but maintaining our gravity line. Our hips stay still, our chin stays in, our head stays up. Good. Allowing those toes to lift off the floor and relax. Good. From here, we're going to put the feet together. And with the feet touching, it's important to keep the toes and the balls of the feet touching, but if you have bony ankles or it's uncomfortable to have the heels touching, that's okay. They can come apart a little bit, as long, again, as the balls of the feet and the big toes are touching. So from here, we're going to bend the knees until they touch. Perfect. And then the hands will go right on the thighs. And we're going to lower the torso down until the fingertips are right at the top of the knees. And from here, we're going to start to make slow circles with our knees, as slow as we can, as small as we can, working on precision in this movement. Just trying to move fluid around the joint. And each time around that circle, we're going to go a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger. Still trying to respect the spine, staying as tall as we can, keeping the chin in. Every time we make that circle a little bigger, going as big as we can without letting the heels lift off the floor. Good. Now start to make the circle smaller and smaller and smaller, coming to stillness and then right away switch directions, going to the other side. And again, we start off as small as we can, really working on the precision. Each round increasing the distance, the size of this circle. Trying to keep the feet flat on the floor, especially the heels. Good, as big as we can, respecting the spine still. Excellent, and slowly relax. And we're going to come back to a hip width apart stance with our feet nice and tall. Reset the gravity line, tail tucked, ribs down, shoulders back, chin in, head up. I'm going to take the arms and bring them right out to the side above your shoulder joint. The arms are going to come up, and we're going to rotate the palms facing the ceiling, extend the wrist, and we're actually going to reach those wrists away, like we're trying to create a beam of tension here. Good. Now from here, very simple, we're going to balance on one leg. We're going to bring the other leg up into flexion, back down into extension. Perfect. The knee comes up. Good. We're going to keep the knee bent. Good. And then it comes right back down behind us. Perfect. Right back up, right back down. And we start to increase the speed in this movement, getting to a point where we're moving as fast as we can without losing our balance or losing our gravity line. And it's common for the shoulders to start to burn in this position. It's okay. The shoulders typically condition very fast with the consistent Eldoa practice. Good. Keep going up and down. Keep the tail tucked. And relax the leg. Keep the arms up. Right away, we're going to go into the other side. Again, try to keep the shoulders or the arms rather, just above the shoulder joint. And that leg moves up into flexion, down into extension. We maintain the gravity line. See if we can keep the weight on the heel of the supporting leg. And keep reaching those arms to hold ourselves up. Good. Again, working as fast as we can without losing our balance or losing our gravity line. One more time, and relax. Good, relax the arms, relax the leg. Now from here, we're going to take a bit of a wider stance. So maybe about shoulder width apart. And we'll make a closed fist, just so we know we're not grabbing the back of our head and put our knuckles right by our ears. Now from here, we're going to do what's called positive torsion. So we want to have a lot of flexion in the spine with a little bit of rotation. So it looks like this. We come down, rotate, get the knee, come back up. Come down, rotate, get the knee, come back up. Always resetting into our gravity line. When you're ready, go ahead and make that movement. Nice and smooth. And just like before, moving at a fine pace where we're not losing our balance here, while we're able to restore our gravity line at the top of each repetition. And don't forget to breathe. Right? As we're doing these movements, they're a little challenging on our balance, a little challenging on our coordination. It's common for people to tend to hold their breath. We don't want that. Nice, big, relaxed breaths. Good. A lot of flexion in the spine, a little bit of rotation. Always going to get the knee. Excellent. One more time on each side. And relax. Good. From there, we're going to keep that shoulder width apart stance. Reset the gravity line. Tail tucked, ribs down, chin in, shoulders back, head up. We're going to take the left arm, reach it to the floor, pull the wrist back and push down. We're going to take the right hand, put it on the ceiling with the palm, put it on your head with the palm facing the ceiling, reaching the elbow away. And from here, we're just going to go through some gentle side bending. As we reach to the floor, we think about pushing those right ribs out, away from us, towards the wall and towards the ceiling. And as we're going through this, we try to maintain a neutral position with the torso. Again, the tail stays tucked. Very good. Those ribs push out. The head stays neutral. Excellent. The head follows the body. Good. One more time. Then switch sides. Perfect. Right over to the other side. Keep that right wrist extended. Spreading the fingers, reaching to the floor. Pushing that elbow away. And imagining those ribs reaching to the ceiling every time we side bend. Pushing up into me. Coming back to neutral. Keeping those hips still. And making sure the hips don't drive out to the side. Excellent. Back up tall. One more rep. And relax. Good. From here, we're going to go a little wider with our feet. And we're going to turn our toes in just a touch. And relax the knees. We don't need to force the knees, but we let them go soft so we have a slight bend here. Once we're here, we reset our gravity line. Our tail is tucked. Ribs are down. Chin is in. Head is up. We're going to take the hands and put them right on our hips. So from here, we're going to do what's called the translation, where we're trying to slide one vertebra completely across the other. So we're going to think of working our belly button here. From our hands on our hips, the hips down, they're in concrete, they can't move. Taking that belly button, we're just going to drive it over to our left, but a simple glide and back to neutral. Glide, back to neutral. This is a tricky movement, and we don't typically have that much range of motion, but the key here is to relax as much as we can. So some things we want to avoid is side bending, making sure the body stays neutral, the shoulder girdle stays level, as if we had a glass of water on each shoulder, and relaxing. We don't want to squeeze the abdominals. We don't want to tense up the jaw, so we can relax, open the mouth a little bit, maybe even smile if we need to, if we're feeling like we're really clenching our teeth. Good. One more to this side, and we're going to switch to the right. And if we're having trouble with this movement, we can simply shorten the range of motion, right? Think of micro movements, an inch, a half inch, a quarter of an inch, even less, that's fine, and then slowly building up the movement through each repetition. Keeping the hips tucked, keeping the pelvis still. Good. One more time, and relax. Good, hold that position. We're gonna add a little complexity to this, so we're gonna bring both arms up, out to the side, extend the wrists, and now, because the shoulder girdle isn't locked with the hands on the hips, we're gonna translate through the whole spine. So from here, we're gonna reach to the left, all the way over, perfect, all the way to the right. Keep those hips still, all the way to the left, all the way to the right. And as we reach to one side, we think of reaching that hand all the way to the wall. Keep the fingers spread, keep the wrists extended. This tension helps keep the rest of the body in sync as we glide left to right. Translate left to right. Good. One more time each side. Coming back to the right. Finishing in neutral and relax. Good. Shake out the arms, shake out the legs. Go ahead and come back to a standing position with our feet under our hips. And from here, very simply, what we're going to do is take our knees, drive them forward as far as we can. So we have a little knee glide, knee bend. And we're going to dangle the arms. From here, we tuck the chin and we round down one vertebra at a time until we touch our toes. And come back up one vertebra at a time. Once we straighten out our spine, we straighten out our knees and get as tall as we can. Good. From here, shake out your legs, take a break, and take a seat. So what we're going to do now is get into what's called the good morning. Okay, so we're going to be seated on our sit bones with our feet out in front of us and our knees bent. Good. So from here, we just want to make sure our feet are flat on the floor. So whatever position we need to be in to get that to happen, typically it's about a 90-degree bend in the knees. And we'll show this from two different views. So from here, we want to make sure we have a solid grip on the front of our shins. Okay? So we're going to take those hands, place them right on the shins. This is our limiting factor for this movement. If at any point we start to lose our grip here, we're not really doing the good morning. We're not doing this mobilization exercise. We're doing more of an abdominal exercise, which we don't want to do yet. We'll get to that later. So from here, we want to still work on our gravity line, but respect the spine in the seated position. So we get as tall as we can. That chin comes in a little bit more. Lift the head to the ceiling. Puff the chest up. And from here, we're going to take a deep breath in. As we exhale, we roll back one vertebra at a time towards the floor without losing our grip. And then use our arms to pull ourselves back up. Good. We breathe out the whole way down. Breathe out the whole way up. Big inhale at the top. Roll that spine down one vertebra at a time. Pull ourselves up one vertebra at a time. Keep working through this movement. And again, we want to make sure we have a solid grip on our shins so we can adjust the position of the feet. They can go closer together. The knees can bend more. Whatever it has to happen in order to maintain that solid grip on the shins. Nice and tall at the top. Good. Big breath out as we go down, one vertebra at a time. Coming back up, one vertebra at a time. Lifting to the ceiling at the top. Very good. Making sure to keep that chin in. We go all the way down and all the way up. And from here, as we're going through this, we want to try to create as much movement through the spine without tensioning the neck. So we don't want the head to dive forward. We want to keep that chin in, keep the shoulders down, away from the ears, maintain our breath, exhale the whole way down, exhale the whole way up, inhale at the top. Again, only one vertebra at a time on the way down, straightening out one vertebra at a time on the way up. Big breath in at the top, hold this position. From here, we're going to get into the next exercise, which is very similar, but we're working the abdominals now. So we're going to take the feet a little bit wider apart, and our arms go right inside of our knees. So we're holding ourselves up tall, and it's important from here, we don't let our knees touch our forearms, okay? If the knees start to squeeze in, that's actually a bit of cheating. So we get nice and tall, and we're gonna do that same exact movement. As we exhale, we roll down one vertebra at a time, and come back up. We maintain the exhale the whole way down. Now if we can go all the way down, great. We get all the way down to the bottom of the shoulder blade. If we can't, we simply shorten the range of motion to halfway or a quarter of the way. But the whole time we respect our breath and we respect the spine. Straightening out at the top, getting as tall as we can. Inhale at the top, exhale on the way down. Especially exhale on the way back up. Never holding our breath. Big breath in. Good. 10 more. All the way down, if we can. All the way back up. Now let's try to pick up the pace a little bit. We want to think of being able to do 1 rep every 2 seconds. There we go. Try to make sure the feet stay on the floor. They may roll out, that's fine, but as long as some portion of your feet, the outside edges of the heels, stay down, that's what we're looking for. If they start to lift up, we know we're no longer using the abdominals and instead we're relying on our hip flexors. That's okay. All that means is we shorten the range of motion. Instead of going all the way down, we switch to halfway or 1/4 of a way down. Count your reps. All right, rest. Good. So from that abdominal strengthening exercise, we're going to get into a glute strengthening exercise. So go ahead and lie on your right side. And at home, you can use a yoga block, a pillow, a rolled-up towel, a blanket, anything to support your head, or you could just use your arm. But we want to make sure the neck is as straight as we can, so the head's not hanging down or we prop our neck up too much into a side bend. From here, we want to try to keep the back straight as we bring the hips up to about a 90-degree bend with the knees bent as well. Good, so 90, 90. From here, the bottom leg stays completely still. We're working the top leg. Go ahead and straighten the top knee out for me. Good. Let's go a little higher. Now, the knee's completely straight. What we want to do is put a slight bend in that knee. A little more, a little more, a little more. Good. That bend just helps keep some of this musculature in the IT band relaxed, so we're not utilizing that fascial component. Go ahead and take your ankle and roll it in as if you just sprained your ankle. Perfect. And roll, reach that big toe up towards your heart. Good. Now, give me a little more bend in the knee. Perfect. Maintain the ankle, maintain the foot, maintain the bend here. And all you're going to do is, as if your leg was a windshield wiper, reach it straight up to the ceiling. Good. And tap back down and come back up. Perfect. Now I have my leg behind your pelvis, and we want to make sure is that pelvic girdle doesn't open all the way. Right? So let's do one where the pelvis opens all the way. Yeah. So we don't want to lose that position. Right? So from here, all the way up, as much range of motion as we can, all the way down. At home, again, using a yoga block, a foam roller, you can put something behind your pelvis to make sure you're not knocking it over, or you can even do this about 1 inch away from the wall to make sure you're not leaning into the wall. And again, just like the abdominal exercises, once you have the range of motion, and once you have the concept of the exercise, try to pick up the pace a little bit, see if we can get to doing 1 repetition per second. It's going to start to burn in the hip. Good, 3, 2, and 1, relax. So we're going to switch sides to the other side. Now I would recommend at home starting with your weaker side because of the relationship of the musculature in this area of the body. When you work one side, you technically work both. So we're going to be a little pre-fatigued here on the right side. So again, you may want to start with your weaker side if you have one. Let's go ahead and bring those hips a little higher so they're at 90 degrees. Good. We're going to straighten out the top leg. Roll the ankle, pull the big toe back, and we keep a subtle bend in the knee. And then from here, once again, coming up to the ceiling as high as we can, tapping the big toe on the floor, coming right back up. Good. Try not to touch me on the way down. Excellent. Again, respecting the pelvis, respecting the spine, trying to keep it as straight as we can. Trying not to roll back, making sure we're completely on our side. Making sure we're breathing, not holding our breath. Right, again, this is a common exercise for people to start to hold their breath. It looks simple, but it's challenging. Good, don't touch my hand. There we go. Excellent, keep going, 5 more. All the way up. Excellent, last rep. And relax, perfect. So from there, we're going to get into our first mild fascial stretch. So go ahead and into a seated position with your feet out in front of you. And we're going to stretch one of the hamstring muscles, the biceps femoris. So just think of that as the most outside muscle. Remember, the hamstrings are a group of multiple muscles, and we want to stretch each one of them independently. So from here, go ahead and bend both of your knees a little bit. Excellent, and let your leg drop out to the side. and this one comes towards me. Good. So this position just helps relax the hips a little bit, okay? And we'll start by stretching the right leg first. So keep the left leg completely off in that relaxed position and straighten out the right leg for me. Excellent. From here, what we're going to do is take that right leg and just bring it towards the middle or the midline of the body. Excellent. Now we're going to work on some awareness. So what I want you to do is relax the ankle and take this hip, roll it out, roll it in, roll it out, roll it in, and try to find the maximum ranges of both directions, coming out and coming in. Good. Now hold that hip in. Right? Maybe you get a little cramp in here. That's somewhat normal. From this position, without letting the hip move, reach the ankle out, roll the ankle in. Reach the ankle out, roll the ankle in, but don't let that hip move. Good. So learning how to disassociate different joints of the body. Excellent. Now, relax the leg, shake it out a little bit. Perfect. From here, we're going to get into the tension for the stretch. Roll the ankle in as much as you can, and pull the big toe to the heart. Perfect. Now your hip is already rolled in a little bit, so I'm not going to have you roll it in more. Right? If you roll the ankle in and the hip doesn't roll in, you could roll it in a little bit, but just enough to not let the sit bone lift off the floor. Okay? So from here, I'm going to have you apply some more pressure. We're going to push that knee down into the floor. Good. We're going to reach the heel away from your body. You're going to stick your tail out. Good. Nice and tall. You're going to take this hand, palm facing the ceiling, rest it right by your pocket. Perfect. You're going to take that hand and reach it out in front of you. Palm faces the ceiling, extend the wrist, spread the fingers. Good. Now this is where it gets a little tricky. The chest we don't care about, but I want you to turn your belly button towards your thigh. Good. And now from here, all we do is a bow. You bring your belly button down towards your thigh, your chest comes up to the ceiling, and you stick your butt out. And we should feel some tension behind that leg. Feel a little tension here, a little tightness. Good. And breathe. All right, treat this just like a yoga pose. We can take deep breaths, relaxed breaths. We want to make sure that arm stays in line with the shoulder. Keep the wrist back. Keep pushing forward. Keep trying to bring that belly button down as the chest comes up. That maintains that tension through the spine. So we get more of a pull from the hamstrings. Sticking the tail out more, pushing the heel more, keeping that toe in, rolling this hip in a little more. Scale 1 to 10. How much tension do you have? An 8? Okay, perfect. So we don't want to go above an 8. In the first round, we probably want to stay about a 7. Good. Slowly relax. We're going to switch and do the same thing on the other side. So shake the legs out. Once again, we'll bend both of the knees a little bit, let the legs drop out to the side. We'll straighten out the left, and we'll quickly go through that awareness again on the left. So relax the ankle, and we're going to roll the hip out and in, and out and in. Perfect. And one of the things we can do as we're going through this awareness, just to put some information in our back pocket, is compare, how does this feel compared to the other hip? Does it move smoother? Does it feel like there's gravel in our hip joint? Do we have more range of motion going in one direction than the other compared to the other hip? All good information to have. Now keep that hip rolled in. Relax that, or rather keep that hip in there, but don't move it. Roll the ankle out, roll the ankle in. Roll the ankle out, roll the ankle in. Perfect. And again, we want to know, is it easier to control this side of the body than the other side of the body? Is it easier to disassociate these two joints? Good. Relax the ankle, relax the hip, shake it out a little bit. Now from here, from the stillness, we're going to bring the leg just across the midline of the body. And once again, we'll roll the ankle in as much as we can. Pull the big toe to the heart. Now on this side, your hip didn't roll in as much, so you can create a little more rotation in. Perfect. You're doing a good job of keeping this foot away from this foot. We don't want to make that contact. Pull the big toe up to your heart. Perfect. Push this knee into the floor. You already feel some tension back here. Good. Slightly push the knee forward. Good. Slightly stick the tail out. Nice and tall. Left hand, hip palm faces the ceiling, relaxing by your side. Right hand out in front of you. Now once again from here, we want to be careful not to turn the chest, but to turn the belly button towards me. Once we're there, bring the belly button forward, reach the chest to the ceiling, and think of sticking out the butt. So we're trying to separate the tailbone from the heel, pulling that toe back, taking big relaxed breaths, and looking for that tension right behind the thigh. Same, more tension, less tension than the other side. A little less, okay. So you can start to ramp up and find that place of more tension. Whether that's pushing the knee down more, whether that's pushing the heel out more, pulling the toe back more, sticking the tail back more, right, or arching the back, think Daffy Duck butt. Good. Keeping that arm out in front of you. Big deep breath in, big deep breath out, and slowly relax. Good. One thing to take a note of, this is a myofascial stretch, so as opposed to just stretching the actual musculature or the muscle of the hamstring, the biceps femoris, we're stretching a myofascial chain. So yes, we're looking for that tension potentially to happen behind the thigh. You might feel it go down towards the knee, into the calf, the ankle, the foot, or into the glutes, potentially even the back. Right? Don't worry too much about where you're feeling the stretch. Worry more about creating as much tension on that line as you can. From here, we're going to get into our first Eldoa. So this is for the L4, L5, reaching the spine. So think just below your belly button, so low on the lower back. And some working principles. We already talked about working within our own limitations, managing our pain. For this, we also want to manage our breath. Now, because of the specific level of the spine we're working, unlike the myofascial stretching where we take big, deep breaths, you actually want to take very relaxed breaths here. If we take a big breath in, we contract the diaphragm. It doesn't allow us to create the Eldoa we're looking for. Similarly, if we take a deep breath out, we contract the abdominals, and again, we can't create the Eldoa we're looking for. So we keep the mouth open, and we take relaxed breaths, making sure not to hyperventilate. We also make sure the mouth stays open so the diaphragm doesn't fix itself. Okay, we also want to make sure we relax the jaw. The easiest way to do that is to smile. Okay? Last thing, we're going to hold the posture for a minute. At the end of that minute, we're going to methodically, slowly come out of the posture to avoid what's called the rebound effect, where the tissue snaps back. Okay? So just think, if you drop out of this posture rather abruptly, you kind of undo everything you worked for in that minute. All right? So with that being said, we'll set up this posture. Go ahead and keep your feet like this, but bend your knees forward, about 90 degrees or so. Perfect. Let your knees drop out to the side. Now what we're looking for and what we have here is a right angle at the knee joint. Okay, so about a 90-degree bend. That's perfect. Stay there. We want the heels about a hand width apart though. So without bending the knees anymore, get the heels a little closer together. Perfect. Right there's good. I say about a hand width. It's roughly a hand width, and it's different for everybody, but that's a good estimate. Now from here, we're going to take the pinky toes and reach them back towards the shins. Good. So pull those toes back. You'll notice when we do that, the heels get a little closer together. That's fine. We're trying to get the bottoms of the feet completely parallel with one another. You should feel some tension in the shins as we do this. Now we're going to push the feet into the floor, perfect, and push the knees into the floor. From this position, you can hold on to your shins and pull your chest up to the ceiling, right? So give yourself some support and just practice maintaining that tension in the lower limbs. Good. Now from here, I'm actually going to give you, sorry if my hands are cold, a little palpation. Okay, pull those toes back a little more. Good. We're actually going to open up your heels just a little bit. Good. Now, think of bringing your belly button forward and your chest up to the ceiling. Perfect. From here, reach your hands out in front of you and extend the wrists and spread the fingers. Very good. Now from here, we're only going to work about 50%. So what that means is just giving enough effort to hold the posture and bring your hands up over your head. Very good. Keep the wrists extended, keep the fingers spread, and reach. Now again, we're only working about 50% effort here. We're not going 100% effort yet. We're going to ramp up to that position. We want to make sure we're maintaining the tension in the lower limbs, knees pushing down, toes pulling up, chin stays in, head stays reaching to the ceiling as if we're pulling her up by our ponytail. Good. Try to get those arms a little closer together. Now we're going to make a big jump, 75% effort reaching to the ceiling. That whole rib cage is lifting up towards the ceiling. We're trying to create as much space as we can between those lower vertebrae. Very good. Keep the mouth open, keep breathing, spreading the fingers. And now let's ramp up to 90% effort. So you have a little left in the tank, but we're working hard. Push me. Good. Keep pushing me. Keep those arms in. Don't touch me. Good. Chin in. Very good. Lifting that ribcage up to the ceiling, keeping those knees down. And now for the last 10 seconds, 100% effort. Everything you have. Go. Lift, 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 lift. Push. Keep the chin in. Keep the mouth open. Keep smiling. Keep those arms in. Almost done here. Reach harder. Keep working 100% effort through the spine, but bring the arms out in front of you. Reach to the wall in front of you. Keep growing through the spine. Grab your shins. Pull yourself up taller. So you maybe give me 110% effort to get taller. Keep the spine working, but only relax the ankles. Relax the hips. Relax the spine. Relax all. Very good. All right, one down, one to go. Now that was L4, L5. Now we're going to jump up to L2, L3. So we did just below the belly button. I want you to now think just above the belly button. So from here, go ahead and straighten out your legs in front of you. Now because I'm here, I could put my hands on the level of the spine and palpate and find out exactly how much we need to open the legs. At home, again, roughly, you want to open the legs so that the thighs create a 90-degree angle. So we'll just show what that looks like roughly. So go ahead and open the legs. It's about there. Okay? But, again, because I'm here, I'm going to have you close your legs. See? Again, sorry, my fingers are cold. And we're just going to open this leg. Right there. Okay, open the other leg to match. Perfect. Let's go a little more. Good. So almost the same, maybe a touch less than 90 here, okay? From here, we're going to use the same awareness we did earlier. So, I only want you to work this hip. Roll the hip in, roll the hip out. Roll the hip in, roll the hip out. Good. And you can use your hands to support yourself. You don't have to be a hero here. Alright? Now hold that hip rolled in. Keep that hip still. But I want the ankle to roll out and roll in. Roll out and roll in. Good. Now keep that ankle in. Pull the toe up to your heart. Keep that knee straight. This leg is going to stay exactly where it is. Don't go 100% on the roll in of the hip. Only give me about 75% effort. Same thing with the ankle. Now, switching to the other side. This hip stays in, that ankle stays in. Working the left. Roll the hip in, roll the hip out. Again, only about 75% effort here. Not trying to work maximum effort. Good, keep the hip in. And now the ankle. So, learning how to control and stabilize 3 different joints while only moving one, the most distal, furthest away. Good, keep the ankle in. Both hips are in, both ankles are in. Both toes are reaching up to the heart. Again, only 75% effort here. The knees are pushing into the floor a little bit. The heels are reaching out away, just like the hamstring, the biceps femoris mild posture stretch we did. Stick your tail out, nice and tall. Think belly button forward, chest up to the ceiling. Good, not too far forward. Good, and reach those hands straight up in front of you. Now once again, we're only going to start at 50% effort, so palms face the ceiling. Extend the wrists, get tall here, maintain the tension in the lower limbs. But now we're going to ramp up the tension in the lower limbs to 100%. So the hips are in, the ankles are in, the knees are through the floor, the toes are to the heart, and the heels are pushing away. Bring those hands up to the ceiling. Perfect. And from here, the lower limbs stay at 100%, but the torso and the upper limbs stay at 60%. Good. Managing those tensions, breathing, chin is in. Eyes are open, we smile, we spread the fingers, we try to get those biceps to the ears. Perfect. And we're lifting that spine all the way up to the ceiling. Good. And we're going to ramp up to 75% effort. Keep pushing, keep growing. Very good. Maintain here. Keep that tension of the limbs. Keep those heels reaching away. Keep those toes pulling up. Belly button forward, the chest up to the ceiling. Keep those arms in. And let's go 90% effort. Good. And big jump to 100% effort. Everything you have, we're lifting to the ceiling. Good. Reaching more. Push me. Spread the fingers more. Keep breathing. Belly button forward more. Push me more here. Almost done. 3, 2. Maintain 100% effort, but bring the arms out in front of you. Get taller. Slowly bring your arms behind you and support yourself up by your hands, but get taller. Keep working through the spine. Relax the ankles. Relax the hips. Relax all. Slowly take a couple deep breaths. And when you're ready, try to avoid any immediate rotation or twisting movements. Slowly stand up. And we're going to retest our gravity line here. So we come back to our standing position with our feet underneath our hips. Good. We can fidget our feet a little bit, kind of roll through the ankles, just give the body a little reset. Good. Now from here, tuck and untuck the tail a few times, right? Anterior tilt, posterior tilt. Forward the bowl forward, forward the bowl backward. Now hold that posterior tilt. Good. We're nice and tall. The weight's shifted over the heels. The rib cage is down. The shoulders are back slightly. The chin is in. The head is reaching up to the ceiling. We're holding this tension, but we look relaxed. And we close the eyes. And we just take some deep breaths here. Again, paying attention to how our body's moving and adjusting itself. And without losing our position, we quickly we lift the toes off the floor. And once again, notice those micro adjustments the body makes in this position. And without letting the body move at all, without losing our posture, we quickly lower the toes to the floor. Go ahead and open the eyes. How you feeling?
I feel like I move less.
Move less?
Yeah.
Awesome. Maybe a little taller. So that's your abbreviated Eldoa workout. Remember to practice these on a daily basis. Remember the working principles, especially to work with pain, right? Don't work within pain, but work with it. Make sure you manage the tensions as best you can. And hopefully, throughout the days of practicing,